Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's do a complete beginner's guide to News Tower, shall we? News Tower is a game that is in early access, but has so much content and is so much fun that I've been playing it nonstop, and I thought, let's take what I've learned through my own experience, trial and error, through some tips from people on stream, and turn that into a guide so that you can see, is this the kind of game I want to play? Or if you've just acquired News Tower, you can learn how to play if you want to play along. What we're going to do is start a brand new game of News Tower and begin our news empire from the ground up. And I'm going to work through the tutorial that's built into the game, but also add on and fill in any gaps so that you can learn how to play. I'm going to explain the UI, the controls, some basic tips and strategy, and I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to tell you how to min-max or show you the, supreme optimal layout for your tower or anything like that, but rather just going to provide the fundamentals and explain my thought process so you can learn to enjoy this game however you want to play it. Sound good? All right, let's get started with a new game. Do I want an introduction? If it's your first time playing, yes, you do want the introduction, and we're going to do that together. It's been years, but I can still smell the air. It was thick with aspirations as your father and I started our journey across the vast ocean. New York was the place to be at the turn of the century, and so that's where our dream took us. My sincere condolences for the loss of your father. I think it's time I share the stories and photographs that formed our past. Arrival on Ellis Island. We came with a purpose, a shared dream to one day establish our own newspaper. You aren't merely part of a family, you're rooted in a lineage of publishers. Ink runs through our veins. We were born to tell and, more importantly, sell our stories. With our pockets light as a feather, we had to start from the bottom. We built a ramshackle newsstand and sold others newspapers. But paper by paper, we started to build our own story. We called our newspaper, and you get to enter the name of your newspaper here. So it is worth explaining, as we're going to see in a moment. News Tower is a game that's a tower builder and management game like Sim Tower, something like that, but also is about creating a newspaper and everything that goes into that, from reporting to production to just the security and maintenance of the building itself. We're going to call our newspaper the Incompetent Tutorial Sun. It's a mouthful, it's a terrible name, and yet we're going to be successful anyway. A decade later, we were hitting scoop after scoop. Our ink-stained pen became a lethal weapon, taking down corrupt politicians left and right. If you were somebody back then, you were somebody because of us. Yet, life wrote some unforeseen chapters. Your father had to head back home, and I was left to lead our dream on my own. Nowadays, my stories don't seem to hit the same way. With the economic crash and the debts mounting, the persistent deadline finally caught up to me. With no successor in sight, I turned to you. By the way, this game is set in 1930 in New York City, and most of the events, many of the events for the news stories that you get are historical. So, 1929 stock market crashes, and you'll see all sorts of stuff if you're familiar with, early 20th century American culture. You'll see some things that you'll recognize. Welcome to New York City. It's a pressing matter. It is time to pass the torch. Our legacy cannot fall prey to these foreclosure wolves. It's a sacred trust to be kept within the family. I bought you a ticket to come to New York. A taxi will await you at the terminal and take you to our Brooklyn office. While my journey now leads elsewhere, my retired secretary Eleanor will be there to guide you. She will have you up and printing in no time, but brace yourselves, for the city never sleeps. Best wishes, your uncle. All right, Uncle, I'll make you proud. Brooklyn, New York City, Monday, 8 a.m. 1930. Here we are at the incompetent tutorial Sun. The cab's pulling up. Oh my God. Thank you, officer. We'll stay in touch. So as you can see, the art style and the animation is hilarious. Have a good day, ma'am. Our stuff's been broken. Oh, hello there. You must be our new publisher. You seem taken aback, my dear. Well, perhaps your uncle didn't disclose the full story. I apologize for this mess. Allow me to shed light on the situation. Our newspaper has been struggling tremendously with dwindling readerships and mounting debts, an unfavorable combination. Last night, one of the debt collectors paid us an unwelcome visit. It appears that your uncle has unsavory connections. To be frank, the recent financial crisis has pushed us to the brink of foreclosures, so mobsters came in and break our stuff because we owe them money. It's great. Your uncle saw no way out, and we sought external financing options. Unfortunately, his plans didn't unfold as anticipated, but his intentions were noble. You are his final hope, and it all revolves around the man depicted in the painting right above us. No, not that man, the one who was once our esteemed boss, your late father, the great publisher Antoine Benend. May his soul rest in peace. But no time to linger. We need a newspaper to be printed this Sunday. We got to make every letter count and prevent this looming foreclosure. At your service, publisher. Let's meet our remaining staff. Let me introduce to you our only remaining employees, Blazanov and Dennis. Say hi. Hi. How are you doing? Blazanov is operating our telegraphing station. It's our line of communication to the world outside. That's right. As a matter of fact, I'm getting some hot news right now. So, the telegraphing station, give me a minute, finds stories. And this progress wheel above him shows that he's working on a story. In the meantime, I've got something to show you, and as it fills up, he'll find one. This is where you come in. See the blue arrow? I see it. It's up there. This shows your advancement in the week. We're on Wednesday already. Our goal is to get a newspaper out every Sunday. I just paused the game, by the way. So no time to waste. So you could just push spacebar to pause the game so that you can look at the UI and you can click the mouse to move her along in the tutorial so that you don't waste any time. However, notice as the game is paused, the telegrapher is no longer getting a story because he needs time to operate. I'll give you some tips along the way. Pay attention to those blue boxes. Good luck. Okay, so first thing she wants to say is have a look around, move the camera using WASD, and you can also hold the right mouse button to drag it around. You can zoom in and out using the wheel, and we're waiting for research. You can also move the camera out here a little bit. You see that we have the Whitehall Hotel over here, and then there's this Brooklyn Trust Company, little loan bank station, is to our right. And we're going to zoom back in, and Blazanov says he's almost done. So let's go ahead and just unpause the game and let him work. So as the light, he's getting it, he's getting the news. Just got to decipher this. It's coming in with Morse code. How about that? You're making me nervous. Bingo. Send out your first reporter. So whenever I hear that ding, I immediately push spacebar to pause the game. And in the upper left, you're going to see that there's a badge on this globe. And we can click on the globe This lamp represents Mr. Blazanov's telegraphing desk. When the light's on, that means a line of communication is open, allowing you to send reporters over to report on events. So the more telegraphers you get, the more lights you get. It's on, meaning we've got one story active. We can see it on the map right here. This is where Mr. Blazanov found our news source. And if I mouse over it, it says it's the Wall Street stock crash. Click on it to dive in and begin reporting. So you'll see like a little dialogue bubble with an icon in the bubble, and it tells you what kind of story it is. In this case, it's an economic story. So I'm going to click on it, and it opens up a smaller kind of map and some dossiers to explain what's it going to take to get to the bottom of this story. So this is what we call the news board. The core of each news item lies in its story files. Every news item has at least one. So this currently just has one news file, which means it's an easy story to do. Later, as you go, you're going to find branching paths, options that you have to make. Maybe a case takes several reporters at the same time to get it done. Usually the more work you have to do, the better story it's going to be, but it takes longer. And so you have to balance that with making sure that you are able to print a news story by the end of every week, because Sunday a paper's got to roll. Here we're dealing with an economy story as indicated by this requirement. So on the bottom of the folder you'll see a little icon that tells you what skill is associated with this story. Only reporters with an economy skill can be assigned here. So you must assign a free reporter with this skill to the story to get it. So you can see over here on the right, this reporter has the skill we need. Drag this card to the story file. So over here on the right, in this drawer, there's folders for every single reporter that you have. You can see some information about them, which is what skills they have. They have 3. What level they are in the skill. You can mouse over it. You see he's level 0 in economy. But as he keeps working, he will level up, and then you can get accessories to decorate the office that will also give him bonuses to this skill, and anyone who works at that desk or in the area. And then there's this green brain that shows his concentration. I always like to think about this as just like fatigue. And if his concentration is off, he will work slower and like do a bad job sometimes and turn in sloppy work. So you might need to give him a break every while, but he's fully rested, ready to go. And so you just pick this up, left click and drag, and then as you hover it over the folder on the news board, you see it kind of bounces up, and then we let it go, and Dennis is on the case. As you can see, he started working on this item straight away. This story file will take 6 hours to report on. An economy tag was gained from this report. It's all about the story tags, as you'll see later. Indeed, it is all about the story tags, and let me just explain a little bit. Right here, what you're going to see is that it's going to take 6 hours to do this. But the note on the bottom of this tooltip that pops up when you mouse over the time is so important, and it's crushed me before, which is you cannot think that once the story is done reporting that it's ready to print, because it still has to go to production. It still has to be typeset and assembled before it can be printed. So there's a lot of time on the back end of the story that has to happen. So if you get it in right before printing on Saturday or Sunday, if it's not been typeset, if it's not been assembled, it's not going. So make sure you have more time budgeted if you have a story you want to get out. Now you notice it takes 6 hours, but that's because he's level 0. If he was a higher level, then the time it would take him would be decreased, so you could do more stories if you use people who are high level on news items that are appropriate. And then these tags are based around the different types of stories. You can have entertainment, sports, economy, politics, things like this. And there are ratings for each tag. So this is a bronze level tag. In general, the more tags and the higher the rating, bronze, silver, gold, whatever, the more money you'll get, the more readers you'll have for the story, because it's like more interesting. This is as bad of a story as we can get, but we're just starting out. It's just got one tag, it's bronze, it's economy, but it's a big story. It's the stock market crash. When a story file is completed, a report containing an economy tag is brought to your tower. It then has to be processed into a final article that can be placed in your newspaper. Let's head back to the tower. Just click somewhere outside the news board. So you can push escape or you could just click somewhere else. Hi again. Those mobsters really did a number on our equipment. Yes, they did. This used to be where our typesetter worked. An essential part in the newspaper production process. Reporters would come back and deliver their reports here. Over there is where the typeset reports were assembled, getting them ready to print. Unfortunately, both of them were destroyed, and the good people working them got so scared that they left. Anyway, I'm getting emotional. Let's clean this mess up and start over. So you can see right away, actually, the reporter is done. He just came back with his file. I'm going to pause the game. I pause the game all the time because time is of the essence, and I want to do my stuff, arrange things with the game paused, and then you can speed up time if you need to later, but let's keep it paused. So let's just explain what happened. Dennis went out to the location on the news board and got the story, and he's holding the story. He's got the report sub-item, but he has no one to give it to for production because all of the stuff is broken. And our typesetter, Blazanov, you could see he's working on locating another story, and his little progress wheel is filling up as he works on that. Now, she wants us to dispose of the broken desk, so you just left-click on it, and then you click the trash can item to dispose of it. It's broken, you can't sell it, you can't store it, it's garbage. Get rid of it. Click over here on the assembly table and also dispose of it. Now it's time to learn how to build and manage our tower and our rooms. So she says, let's rebuild, assign someone to the typesetting desk, build a typesetting desk, build an assembly table, and assign someone to that. So she's explaining the build button on the UI. And let me just talk to you a little bit about the UI for a moment. In the upper left, the UI is very simple, streamlined, easy to read. This is the build button. You can get here by clicking on the kind of blueprint and ruler, or you can just push the B button on your keyboard. This is the globe where news stories will appear when the telegrapher is done, and you can either click on this or push G to get to the news board. This is the month and year. This is the time. I have it paused. You can click here to pause it or push spacebar to pause and unpause, and then you can actually use the right directional button to and hold it to speed the game up if you want. These are the days of the week. The black circle means it's complete. This orange circle means we're working on Wednesday and it's almost done. As we get down to time for printing, it'll be on Sunday. We have to print on Sunday. The game will automatically pause itself for you before the last moment that you can wait to print, so that you don't miss it accidentally, which is very helpful. But you need to pay attention to this because you have to have enough time to process the story. So generally, if you're reporting on something on Friday, you're probably not going to get it done in time unless you have really good people and equipment. Over here on the upper right is another portion of the UI. This is our influence points, which we can use to buy different upgrades, which we'll look at in a moment. This is how much money we have. These are our resources. Coal, we don't need it right now. Paper, we'll talk about that later, but generally usually buy it every day. Food, we don't have anything to provide food for our employees just yet. This is the normal view, and we'll talk about the different views so you can look at comfort, etc. in a moment. This is how much power you're consuming and how much you produce. So right now, we actually are only using 16% of our maximum capacity for power, so we have plenty of power right now. Later, as you push this, you'll have to build a generator to produce more power, and then buy coal to power the generator, but that's a ways off. And then you can get to the options over here. So I'm just going to push B to open up the build menu, and over here, you could see she's saying pick up this typesetting desk and drag it down. So we will. It's going to cost $450 to build the typesetting desk. And as you drag it off of this right panel and try to put it onto your tower, if it's red, it means something is in the way. In this case, it's that plant. And so we're just going to put it back where it was. Here's some important information about News Tower and placement. For the most part, you can place things in unbelievably narrow situations that don't look practical, but they have no negative effect. So like, I could put this table right up against the door. That looks ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. You want to squeeze out as much space as you can horizontally in your tower, because to go vertical, you have to buy more floors, which increasingly costs more money. So you want to be really economical with your spacing. I'm just going to put it right here. Okay? Now, she says, assign someone to the desk. So I'm moving the camera up so I can see this window that pops up when I build the assembly table. It says every desk needs an employee. Click here to assign somebody. So right above the typesetting desk, you see there's this little person silhouette with a plus button. I'm just going to click on that. And then it brings up the hiring board, which is also over here on the UI right above the building tab. I didn't really explain these other buttons, just went right up to the globe because these are grayed out. The game is not opening them yet, but now we have the hiring board, which we can also get to at any time by pushing H on the keyboard. So it says they seem a good fit for the job. Drag the file onto the desk. I'm just going to click it. Either one of these people are fine. They don't have any levels in typesetting. They're both $50. So pick whoever you like. I'm just going to go with John. You just drag him over and put him above in this little silhouette slot above the typesetting desk, and boom, he's got his visor. He's ready to work. So now he's going to actually take this file and typeset. Look how long it's going to take, 18 hours to typeset this. All right, so that is not a short process. Then we're going to go back to the build or push B and drag over this assembly table. It's $500, and I'll put it right here next to the plant. And then again, we need to hire someone. I'm just going to move the camera out of the way, click on this, and we're going to hire the other guy, Brad Coleman, and put him right in there. And it takes him 12 hours to do that job. So we're waiting for the reporter to come back, and the reporter is actually already here. I'm going to click away and unpause the game. So you'll see Dennis, he's actually going to walk over, he's holding the file, you see him, and he's like, hey, here you go. And he puts it on the typesetter's desk, and he says, time to convert this into a typeset slug. I'm a total rookie, though, so excuse me if this takes a minute. So he's got to level up to get faster at this. I'm going to pause the game. Beep, 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 beep. New story. No time to waste. Here's his progress bar. You could click. You could see 14 hours to go until he's done with that. And now there's a new story. So I'm just going to push G to open up the globe. And there's a crime story. Found dead on steps. So I click on this. And Dennis has the crime skill. And he has economy. He also has society. So we can just drag him over. You'll notice that like when you are on the news board, the game will usually highlight who has the skill. And honestly, if there's nobody, it will only show you people who can work it. So even if you have a bunch of people, if nobody has this skill, when you open this, there's nobody there. Or they're already working. But he's free. I'm going to put him on it. And it says there's still more time to report. So now Dennis is going to work on this. And in 6 hours, he'll finish. So we're going to click out of this. And we're going to zoom out just a bit and unpause the game. Now what's cool is over here on the right, you can actually see the stories as they're developing. So like this is our economy story that we already did. Here you can see the tags that you will collect when printing the item. So we'll get a bronze economy tag. This shows the progress of your item's production. Every stop represents a production desk in your tower. Once the bar is completely full, you can place the item in your newspaper. So there's reporting, there's typesetting, and there's assembling. So you can see where it is and how long it's going to take. So I'll pause it just to say, look at this, 17 hours right now. It's Thursday afternoon. This story will be done in plenty of time for Sunday's newspaper. You can throw away individual parts of a story here. Editing is sometimes necessary when there's no more time left to complete a story, but you still want to complete the completed parts. So this is something that you can use. I don't really use this too much, but later it might become essential. Right now, I never use it. At the beginning of the game, some outside influences might also demand omittance of certain topics. Keep an eye out and make sure to edit well. The rewards could be quite worth your while. So, you can edit stuff. You can even hire editors later, but for now, we're just going to go with this. Checking this icon will direct you to the location it's at. So you can click this and it will like show you where it is. Zoom the camera there. Okay. And now you can see the progress bars. This story is working. It's being reported right now. And this story is here. I'm going to unpause it. So this guy's not doing anything. He's idle, but that's okay. He has nothing to do. And if you want to fast forward the game, you can hold right on the directional buttons on the arrow key. And then there we go. Look, he's already done. Now it's over to assembly. He's typesetting the second file. And he's assembling right here. It's finished. Jackpot. Congrats. You produced your first article. The final step is placing it in the printer. There she is. Bertha's what we used to call her. How she served us for many editions. Getting sentimental again. All that's left now is deciding on the layout for this week. And maybe squeeze in some more news? I gotta run now, but I left you some blue notes again. See you next week. So she's gonna let us go, sort of, as we learn more about the game. Oh, almost forgot. They left you a little present in the printer. Okay? So, I'm gonna pause it, and it says, place your first article. So, now we can actually use the printer. So, it's over here. And the little present is right here. There's a story that's already been typed up, and it says new publisher. So it says this item is finished. Let's drag it onto the newspaper. So right now, we only have one page of the newspaper that we can print. And there are 3 boxes where we can drag a story. So this story, we can drag it to any of these available spaces. Up here, as the main headline, which gets twice as many points. Actually 3 times on the front page, and then or down here on these smaller sections. So let's put it as the main story, and then doing that displaces the new publisher story, so we can put that back in a moment. If the button is green over by the story, that means it's done, and it's all produced and ready to be placed in the paper. For every bronze tag that's placed in your paper, you gain sales. So you can see we have 1 bronze tag, which is this economy bronze tag. I'm going to just click, by the way, you can click on these buttons to get them out of your way. And then you can, bring them back whenever you want. But so we can see, I'm just going to hide that. And right now we have 1 bronze tag, which means we're going to sell 1,000 copies of the newspaper at 15 cents a piece, which is going to generate 3,000 total sales and give us $450. So the game is going to break down how much money you're going to make before expenses. Some tags are more valuable than others. You see there's like silver and gold, but they are harder to find and require more effort. This shows how many newspapers are expected to be sold by people on the streets. This is influenced by the tags that you placed. Another way to increase sales is to have subscribers. We don't have any yet, but we'll get to that later, and we will. It's going to take us a little bit to get there, but we will, and it's great. And this is how much money we're expected to make, $450. Different layouts can give different results, so experiment. So, if I put this second story on, I get a second bronze tag, and that adds more sales, which turns into $600. Let's see if we could finish this crime story and have a third story to print. I'm going to unpause the game, and you can click this little down arrow under the story to see where it's at to get the full breakdown. And it's already been reported. It's already been typeset. There's only 2 hours left for the assembler. So I'm just going to fast forward, and it's done. And then now we can drag this over like that, and we have 3 stories on our page, and we're going to sell 3,000 papers for $750. I'm going to push escape to close that up, zoom out, and we can just fast forward the time. Sunday morning. Time to roll the presses. So it is time to roll the presses, but we've already set the paper up. So it's time to prepare for printing. Don't worry, you still have all of Sunday to compose your newspaper. Time will automatically stop before the end of Sunday too, giving you a last chance to print everything you want. When you think it's time to print, click here to control the printer. Okay, so I'm not going to click Start, which is to print, because in my experience, there is no reason to never wait until the last minute to print. It will not mess you up, and it will give you the option to have as many stories done as possible. The game is paused while you're assembling. You have unlimited time to kind of hit the layout and then click print. So I'm just going to unpause it and fast forward until you could see this bell filling up on Sunday. Once that thing fills up, it tells you now, oops, time is up. Your newspaper doesn't have to be filled all the way. You could choose to go ahead and print what you have or skip this week and save your articles for the next edition. I've never skipped a week. I don't think you ever really have to do that. But anyway, now we're ready to print. I think it's just a good best practice to wait until this time. We could still arrange this if we wanted, but let's click Start because we're good. And then all you have to do is grab this handle and pull it all the way down and let go. Here we go. All right. We actually sold 5,000 papers. So, I forgot. We generated 3,000 sales on the street, but we had 2,000 other sales that we did. So I was saying the wrong number. I was looking at the top number, which is street sales, not counting the total sales. I apologize about that. So that means, boom. We had some subscribers that were already installed previously, and we got $750. We didn't get any influence points. We didn't sell any ads. We had no hidden agenda points, but we made money. Now you click in the arrow in the upper right to go to the next page, and you take your money, and then you have to pay your staff. So we went from $750 down to $550, and we get a little chart representing how much money we made. We had no loans, and all of our employees were junior level, which is like entry-level employees, so they're cheap. And we can click Leave Recap. Well, I'll be damned. They came back and destroyed our printer. Oh, the mobsters came back. We need to expand anyway. Let's go. Let's do it. So, she wants us to dispose of the old printer. I'm going to click this and click the trash button. Goodbye, Bertha. And now she says get rid of trashed furniture. Uh-oh. I'm going to pause it. I want as much time as possible. This takes no time to destroy this. So the reporter desk got ruined. And this, our uncle's filing cabinet was ruined. And this plant got trashed. So we kill all of those things. And look at this. We got a sweeping station. And a trash can. And sweeping as a job we can get. So we need to hire a janitor. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to push B. I'm going to hire a janitor. I'm going to click on sweeping station. I'm going to put the janitor over here where Bertha was. And then I'm going to click here to hire someone. And both of these employees have the same level and cost the same. So we'll hire Mildred, put her in there. And we'll close this up and push spacebar to unpause the game. So you could see that there's actually a mess here. There's papers on the floor. And she's going to come take care of that. Now, we can't actually use that. Never mind. I was going to try to show you the mess, but that's fine. I'm going to unpause it. And you'll watch the sweeper. She's going to stroll across and clean up all this debris. So she's sweeping it. Boom. Story done. Pause the game. Push G. Open the globe. Cargo ship buried and sank. This is a society story, which Dennis can do. And look at this. It has two parts. So Dennis first needs to research this segment, and then this unlocks the next segment, which he or somebody else will need to research or report. And then if the reporting is done on both of these jobs, we will get a story that has the accumulation of all of these badges. So we'll get 2 badges. However, we'll see in a moment, this is a politics story which Dennis actually can't do. So he could do the first leg of this, so let's go. Let's send Dennis out for this portion. Click over here, unpause it, let them sweep. Also, by the way, we did get a comfort item, which is this trash can. So the trash can counters paper trash. And I'm going to pause it and just talk about this. These items that you have over here, like the red apple painting or the trash can, you'll see that in the upper left it tells you how many you have. We can buy as many trash cans as we want. They're $50. They don't do anything except in places where there could be paper trash. It helps to limit the accumulation of trash to mitigate how much work your sweepers have to do. So if I want to put a trash can, for example, in this room right here, which is the production room, it will help with any spare paper. And I'll put it right there, $50, no problem. I'm going to unpause the game. I went too crazy when I was playing the game. And, oops, let me pause it. I bought comfort stuff all over the place. I was like boosting everything for everyone. You don't need to be that intense early in the game. The bare minimum will usually do for most people. If it boosts a stat for someone, if it makes the typesetting or the reporting better, yes. But if it's just like general beautification of the room, I think you could save your money until you have a lot to roll around in. But that's just my opinion. And when you have a story that has multiple parts, in the upper right, you see how there's this blue folder. That appears to tell you the first leg of it's done, and now it's ready for the second portion. But this requires somebody with the politics skill. And you'll notice my drawer is empty because nobody has that. So what am I going to do? I just clicked that, by the way, because we're done with What a Mess. So I'm just like, we're done with that. And now she says, let's expand. Okay, so she wants us to add a floor. So we can click on this plus button, and $1,000 builds us instantly a new floor. Boom. Now, like I said, it's progressively more expensive. Now we've learned how to make stairs. Our employees need to be able to reach new heights. Let's build a staircase. So you can't actually even build anything on the second floor until you build steps. So I'm going to click on the steps, and I'm going to drag them. And it's actually building a door. And you need to make it so that it's going to show, you see the blue arrow? It has to make a feasible staircase. So if I put it right here, and then I put the door down, and then I drag the steps down to connect to our entry door, then people can, there's like a back hallway, kind of like a Z level to the game that's not shown, where people can walk up the steps and get to that second floor. And now we've learned how, gotten the blueprints and the ability to build a much better and bigger printer. So she says big printer time, so it's time to build a giant printer. So first, you build the input module. This is where the paper comes in, and they're going to tell you where you have to build it, right here. And then she says, build an output module. Now you'll see right up here, the printer takes paper, and it's storing 100 pieces of paper inside it right now. I'm going to take the output module and put it here. And then we need to link it up with a belt that we drag from here all the way over. You just let go on the input and then drop it on the output. And then now we need a page module. And we can put it right in the middle. And this means we can print one page, as you see on the number there. Much better than our old printer. Yeah, it's an amazing printer. Soon we'll be able to add more pages to this incredible machine. Indeed. And don't be afraid to rearrange the printer later. We will. It can even go through ceilings and walls. Now that's impressive. Let's expand our workforce. Okay. So I'm going to pause the game. So we need to build a new reporter, obviously one that could do politics, for example. So I'm going to click build and get a new reporter and put the reporter desk in this room. And we can also build a new telegrapher. I'm going to hire a reporter, and Ronald here does politics, entertainment, and sports, which are all different from our other reporter, which is fantastic. I'm going to put him there. Now, they're telling me to do it in this order, but what I'm actually going to do is, as long as the game will let me, I'm going to move the reporters together and the telegraphers together. And the reason being, the telegrapher desk makes noise. It's always beep, 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 beep. That's why there's this acoustic tile or acoustic panel above the telegrapher to mitigate the noise. So I'm going to left click and drag a rectangle. And you see how the reporter desk is being selected along with the plant that's on top of it. It's hard to see the plant because it's behind the door. But I'm going to do that. They're highlighted in white. And then now I'm going to left click. Oops. I want, that. I'm going to left click. Hey. No, pick it all up. I should be able to pick everything up. I think, let me get him out of the way. Let's close the door. Okay, yeah, here we go. No, I don't want the wall. I just want that. There we go. There we go. Okay. No. Sorry, it was tricking me because only the plant was being picked up. No, if you do drag it, it moves the desk with the plant. And you see that guy is going to be sitting there. He's going to get confused, but I'm going to move his desk right next to his buddy in here, like so. Now the reporters are together, and I'm going to click here. We need to build another telegrapher. I'm going to put him right in here with his buddy right next to him. And then I'm going to click on this. And look at this. We got a globe. This is, I'll look at it in a moment. It popped away. I need to hire somebody. I'll put him right here. Got him. And let me close this up. Okay. So now we have 2 telegraphers and 2 reporters. But we got that globe. Let me push B to go back to building. Here to the left of the right panel, there are these categorical tabs. And if you ever get a new blueprint, there will be a badge. Way down here at the bottom is power and light. We don't need a lamp right now, except it would probably be good to have a lamp on the second floor. So I'm going to drag a lamp over right here. The lamp does take power, indicated by that lightning bolt, and you'll see that we're actually using more power than normal. But that's mostly because of our printer, which is enormous. Now, in this tab, this is production, where we got telegraphing station and reporting desk. Oh, no, I'm sorry, telegraphing station. But below this, you'll see that there's this globe. The globe is as it's listed here, production accessory. This boosts telegrapher and it boosts society. So you want to put this on the desk of any reporter that has society and on the desk of any telegrapher. If I pick this up and then put this in the world, it says the blue areas indicate where the object can be placed and will be useful for boosting the productivity of your employees. So the idea is, if it's good for that employee, the desk will turn blue. So you notice how the reporter on the left, he doesn't have society, so there's no indication. And then also above it, the badge appears. You could see telegraphing and society in kind of white and black circle above it. So I'm going to give each telegrapher a globe. I have unlimited of these. These are definitely something you want to put on. You want to upgrade these right away. Everybody you want to have an extra level. And then now I'm going to click on this. It says go into more depth on our story, which is one of our tasks. Remember, I kind of minimized them. They're up in the top center and these exclamation points. I'm going to push G to open the globe. I'm going to push on the story that has the blue exclamation point. And now Ronald Porter, our new guy, can do the second leg of this story. And now the story, you can see in the upper left, it's going to have 2 badges. It's going to have 2 bronze badges to give us more readers. And I'm going to kind of click on this, and it says we're running low on cash. maybe take out a loan. Do we have to? I'm going to unpause it. So he's working away. Okay, so now we have 2 telegraphers. This guy's working on finding a new story. And we have 2 reporters, 1 typesetter, 1 assembler, and 1 sweeper. So she wants us to take out a loan. We can take out a loan if we really, really need to. And to take out a loan, I'm going to pause it. I think we have to do that later. But if you do want to take out a loan, you could click on your money. And then over here on the left, this is your statistics for your finances. Gives you an idea of how much your salaries are going to cost for all of our new employees. And if you want a loan, you can just click in $1,000 increments, like up right here. And they'll give you $1,000 at 1% at the end of the month until you pay it off. So it's going to cost $10, but eventually we owe them $1,000. Now, I'm not going to take out a loan, but you can get a loan if you need one. I still have $4,000, so I'm okay. All right, beep, 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 beep. Pause the game, push G. There is a political story right here. However, this is politics, and Ronald is busy. So this means I can't do this right now, as she's saying right here. If I mouse over this, though, you can see it says the reporter is carrying the item to its production destination. If you ever see that, you know you're in the clear, because what this means is he's almost done. He's not reporting. He's actually just walking it over to the typesetter. You can usually, I'll unpause it, and you can see them like, yeah, there he is right there. So now he's done. He handed it off. I could push G. I could click on the story. He's all done now, and I can give him this story to go. All right, so we're working on 2 stories right now. 1 is in production. We're about to get another story. Pause. So if you wanted to right now, you could lurch ahead and you could hire another telegrapher and another reporter to get even more stories going. But I'm going to leave it at this balance for the moment. I'm going to push G, and we have an economy story that Dennis can go do. Now, you notice how on Society, there's this blue chevron moving to the right, meaning that he actually has a 1 on Society. Blue means it comes from items on your desk or in the environment. So he gets that from his globe. I'm just going to drag him right there. There's a whole newspaper to fill. What'd she say to me? We have 3 sections to fill, so let's do it. I'm fast forwarding by pushing right. New story, pause, push G, open the globe. This is a sports story. Ronald couldn't do this. By the way, in the upper right, it tells you it's going to take 3 days before the story expires. So if you don't put somebody on it in 3 days, it goes away and your telegrapher looks for another story. If you don't like a story, or you're looking for a particular kind of story, you can simply click on this, not right now, but later, to cancel the story and force your telegrapher to find another one. Fast forward and design your newspaper, place your finished article. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to wait. Now, the telegraphers aren't finding new stories. And you might say, well, why is that? It's because there's no items left to research. There's nothing left to find. So we've got 3 stories already. And actually, we have 4 stories. Just going to fast forward it. Sunday, roll the presses. I'm going to click past that. I'm going to wait all the way to the deadline. Last chance, must print now. We will. Click on this. And here we go. So this says above the fold values are tripled. So on the front page, triple value. So what you want to do is drag over your best story. And usually it's just the number of badges. This one has 2. So if I put it here, you'll see how the multiplier shows up of ×3. Look at this, $900 prediction. If I put a single badge, I go down to $450. So double. Now, this is society and politics. Check this out. If I take another politics story and I put it over here, you'll see how it says it has the politics symbol and then a 1,000. If you combo, you get more points. So if you put on the same page stories that share badges, then you get a combo bonus. So this is telling us, look at this, $1,200 already. And then now you have a choice. Do you want to print this economy story or this entertainment? These are the same. They will get you the same value. Doesn't matter. But we can only print 3 of them. We don't have a second page. And right now we're going to do our best story ever. We're going to sell 4,000 loose plus. Looks like we've got... let's see here. We're going to sell 4,000 loose plus 4,000 from our multiplier plus 1,000 to subscribers, I suppose. There's some hidden number of 1,000 that's coming in. No, not hidden. Let me give you the right math. Okay, so I misspoke before as well. I apologize. I'm so used to having subscribers. It wasn't that we had subscribers before. It was simply, well, I'd have to look at the math and how it was arrived at. But in this case, this is 4,000 loose sales, plus 4,000 from the multiplier, plus 1,000 from the tag combo that we got for having 2 politics, equals 9,000 copies at 15 cents each, which is $1,350. Awesome. We're going to print. Look at that. We got an influence point because this is our record for sales in a week. And so it says right here, 1 record sale, 1 influence point. We made all this. This is the total money we have. This is not how much money we made this week. This is all of our money added up. And you can see how much better we did than last time. We have more wages, though. We have no loan to pay back. And there we go. And now we see the New York City map. This is where we're located right here. We can expand our business to these neighboring areas. So what we're doing now is learning about another phase of the game, which is the map that you see at the end of each week. Now you can click on this right here, which is a district. And if I click on this, we can try to branch out and expand our newspaper into the Williamsburg district and get subscribers. And she's saying, if we select this district, we can earn subscribers if we print a crime and a sports story. So if we do that this week, we get this district unlocked and we get these subscribers. Now, the nice thing about choosing districts is you don't have to print them all that week. You can print 1 this week or even none and just stick with it and do it later, and there's no punishment. So you want to try to do it as fast as possible. I'm going to select it. Good choice. You can play 1 district every week. All right, fantastic. And now we click this and we come back. And she wants to tell us, I'm going to pause it, about comfort. And here's what we need: a crime story and a sports story. Now I'm going to minimize these for a moment and say this is an excellent place to stop our first episode of the Beginner's Guide to News Tower. We've explained a ton about some of the basics, but we're going to have to do some more episodes in this series to really describe the content as the game gets more complicated, to showcase how to do different things. But hopefully you both got a feel for how to play, and you can see if this is the kind of game for you. If you have any questions, please post those in the comments below. I'd love to help you out, and I hope you found this guide to be useful and fun. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.